the Creality Halo 1 Plus. Let's give it a review. Hey guys, my very first 3D printer was the Creality CR10S, an FDM. I've never touched a Creality resin printer, so when they kindly sent me one over to review, I was delighted. Right from the off, what a gorgeous looking machine it is. It's shiny black and dark blue, creating quite a sexy appearance that looks far better in reality. And that's not all this printer has got going for it. Look at this resin tray. Nice metal construction with beautiful clear measurements marked upon it. I can't tell you how useful these simple digits have been. It's a really nice touch. There's this built-in carbon air filter, sensibly placed on the very top, where it can be unscrewed and the carbon replaced, all without taking the printer apart. It's so obvious, it makes you wonder why everyone else isn't doing the same. It has a 5-inch colour touch screen with a happy chappy that dances for you when you turn on your printer. How can you not love that? There's options within the user interface to change the skin, allowing you to customise the menu colour scheme, which is a great user-friendly touch. There's no power adapter with the One Plus, you just plug directly into the mains, which certainly saves on cable mess. The USB stick is delightfully pretty thanks to this little pattern. And Creality even give you a paintbrush. Why do you want a paintbrush? Well, I've always used one. Next time you clean out your resin tray, wipe out the residue with a paper towel, then splash a little IBA inside. Lightly brush this all over and you'll quickly have a very clean tray. I have no doubt that Creality has put a lot of thought into the Halo 1 Plus, and they've tried their best to make life a little bit better for their customers. Unfortunately, they've got it wrong in a few places too. Internet connectivity seems to be a big deal with the One Plus, and it comes with Wi-Fi, which is excellent. Creality really want you to be on the internet with the Halo 1 Plus. The moment you turn it on, it seems to try and force you to connect with their cloud. And this is nice if you want this feature, but if plug and print is more your thing, it takes a bit of ducking and diving to get past this. Eventually it does seem to learn that you're not interested, but initially connectivity seems less of an option and more of a demand. Once the user interface decides to play nicely, you'll then probably find it's too involved. I mean, watch this. Print, select my file from the USB. It's importing it to memory at the moment, which is nice, as I can pull out the USB stick if I want to. Now I've got to select my file for a second time. File parameters, I've got a choice here whether to manually change the file parameters on the printer itself, which I acknowledge is a very nice feature, though not that uncommon in fairness, or whether to stick with those already included within the sliced file. I'll choose File. And finally, I get to click Start. After a while, this becomes fairly normal, but it is a bit involved, don't you think? Now here, for Creality's benefit, is how Anycubic UI typically does it, and printing with Elegoo is much the same. Print, select the file, go. This seems much simpler to me, and when it comes to user operation, surely simple is best. And if you think I'm being a bit silly here, I promise you, after a couple of days of playing with this printer, other than through plate leveling, I haven't been able to find out how to raise or lower the plate. It's probably there, but it's just not obviously there. This really is a shame, as the Halo 1 Plus is a capable printer. Its sturdy and solid build plate rides on dual linear rails, and printing is powered by a 7.9-inch 4K monochrome screen, It has a build height of 172mm and an XY resolution of 40 microns, which is quite impressive. It arrives with real paper instructions, and the pretty USB stick contains a clearer PDF version and a copy of the Creality Slicer Halo box. This seems a fairly obvious and capable bit of software, but Creality have wisely made sure other slicers can be used on their printer. So personally, I'll stick with Lychee. If internet connection is your thing, you can log into the Creality cloud, and in fairness, the OnePlus makes this easy. You can access free models, download firmware updates, join in the community, share your own models, or privately store them for printing later. There is an online slicer, and printing by the cloud does work, allowing you to monitor progress on your mobile device if you wish. I don't have any Creality resins, so I decided to give the Anycubic Eco Grey resin a try. I had a bash with these settings, sticking, as is typical for me, with a layer height of 0.05 and no anti-aliasing. I was pleasantly surprised how well the OnePlus handled the Amerilabs Town test print. And then I turned to our buddies at Archvillain Games for more interesting prints. I think it's fair to say the Halo 1 Plus prints nicely. So what do I think of the Creality Halo 1 Plus? Without question, it is an attractive, capable resin printer. There's some great thinking gone into this, and I applaud Creality for their efforts. They're clearly trying to separate themselves from their competitors, and that's excellent. This is my first Creality resin printer, but for me, the user interface, whilst beautifully smooth in operation, is more involved than is really necessary. The question of cost hasn't been raised yet, so comparing it with similar printers that I've reviewed, or will be very soon in the case of the M3, we can see that the Halo 1 is more expensive. For print volume, there's not much in it really, and it's pretty much the same with the XY resolution. So that just leaves connectivity, where the Creality really does come to the fore. So the extra dollars, it seems, are for the cloud. In terms of printing, it's as nice a 40 micron printer as you'll find, and more than capable of doing what it's meant to do. So should you buy one? Well, despite the annoying user interface, I do really like this printer. It's won me over with thoughtful features and of course a dancing avatar. If you're desperate for the cloud, the Halo 1 Plus will get you there and have you printing happily. But if you're content to stay offline with the USB stick, I'm not sure the extra features will warrant the extra spend. But that's a decision you'll need to make for yourselves. So that's it for this review, guys. Take care and thanks for watching.